A lot of Black people enjoyed being slaves.
Hi lovelies and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support. To those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much for all the love and support. So lovelies, I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok, and I thought to share with you guys where this, pan-colored woman was saying, justifying being enslaved, justifying that, Black people actually enjoyed it. Guys, I'm just gonna roll it because a lot of people were reacting to this, and I was just able to put up the stitches. Please, I'm just gonna roll it. Leave me your thought in the comment section of what you think of this video, and do not forget that this channel will not support any form of bullying, harassment. Let's get into it.
If we didn't realize that a lot of Black people enjoyed being slaves back when slavery was a thing.
Well, how do you know that Black people enjoyed being slaves?
I mean, it's just in history. I've read about a lot of Black people not only participated in capturing slaves, but a lot of Black people enjoyed being slaves. Because of course, when you're really? Brought up doing something like being a slave your whole life, it's all you know. I'm sure a lot of slaves probably enjoyed it and were happy because that's the only lifestyle they were aware of.
That's crazy.
Can you not think like that? Is it really that dense?
I have never heard of somebody enjoying having to work countless hours on a plantation, being dehumanized and whipped and told that they're not human, and being beaten within an inch of their life, and being
saying that
I don't think that people enjoy that.
You can't deny the fact that there were probably slave owners that, just like there were really bad ones, there were probably slave owners that probably treated their slaves really nice too, right? You're not thinking logically. You're being so dense.
You said that Black people enjoyed being slaves.
I think there were probably a good majority of Black people who back then were born and raised as slaves, probably because that's the only thing they knew. It was the environment they grew up in. If they had a slave owner who treated them well, they probably enjoyed their lives, a few of them. I think it's illogical to believe that every person who was a slave back then hated their life. I truly think that's illogical. I do.
I'm pretty sure that being owned is not a good thing.
Because you grew up in this generation and this is what you've been taught. And we know these things now.
No,
but back then,
not just because
those societal standards were not created yet.
Not to own another human based off of their birth as having a certain skin color, for example. That's unfair.
I'm pretending
and
I'm saying it's okay to own slaves now, because that's not what I'm insinuating.
You are defending slavery.
I'm not defending it. I'm just giving you the facts. Aren't you all about facts over feelings?
Yeah, and I believe that slavery is immoral.
Right, and I do too. But the fact was, back then, I think you're illogical if you think that some of them didn't enjoy being slaves or enjoy their lives.
Why would anyone enjoy being a slave?
That's the environment you grew up in. That's all you've ever known. So if you grew up in that environment and you have a slave owner who treats you well, that's just all they know. So they probably were happy about it. They didn't know freedom. Why is it so hard for you to understand this?
What does a slave owner treating their slave well look like?
I mean, back then, I'm sure some of them, I'm pretty sure they fed them, right? Or probably that they weren't whipping anybody or not tormenting anyone. Just I don't have specific details for you.
Okay, as long as you're working inhumane hours on plantations, but you're being fed, then that's a good thing.
Again, I'm not saying slavery was a good thing. You're not gonna try to make it seem like that's what I'm saying, because I don't know what you want me to say. If you want to believe that every person back then who was a slave hated their life,
I'm not even emotional. I'm stunned at the fact that this young person actually believes that because Black people were born into enslavement, we were happy about it. And that this young person thought good treatment by massa was being fed, not being whipped or tormented. Which further leads me to believe that this unfortunate young person still does not see Black people as people. Which tells me schools are not teaching. This is the problem with the school system. Jane Elliott, said we could eradicate racism if we were to teach the full history and empathy and all the things in K through 12. But because of things like that's happening in Florida, Tennessee, Missouri, across the nation, we have stuff like this. She read about it? She read about it. Did she read about how? Chaba. Let me tell you. How about this? Since she believes that it was such a wonderful thing, let's reverse it. Let me flip it on you. Let the black people become the one with power. And let's flip it and all y'all become enslaved. Let us be the masses. And all y'all who don't think that enslavement was a problem become the slaves. We'll treat you kindly. We'll feed you. We'll give you proper quarters. We'll be the plantation owners. See how well you like it. We'll even give you 40 acres in your mule when it's over.
Making a video like this because I thought we all came to a consensus that slavery was bad, and like overall in general, like it was bad. But like, what? She goes on to say that there was probably good slave owners, like they probably treated theirs like good, but like slaves are like below human level. Like people thought of slaves as like not human. They whipped them. They made them work long hours without pay. They fed them scraps. What person would you think? Like your dog right now, if you release him off his leash, he runs away. And you give him everything he needs. He's not even a slave. Let me calm my emotions down because they're a little bit too high. I want to get my point across. No part of slavery was good. None of it. Black people would not have been better off being slaves. No. And no, slavery was not good for black people either when they were doing it.
There's a reason it's important to learn history. She's under the impression that some black folks enjoyed being slaves because they had a nice enough slave owner. You know, they had a pretty good life. Yeah, I mean, it must have been awesome for my ancestors, you know, being beaten, being separated from their families, not even being able to raise their own babies because they had to raise their master's children. I'm sure if I went back in time to speak to my ancestors, they would have nothing but glorious words to say about the people that owned them. But you know, she knows because I'm sure she's spoken to many black folks that were slaves and they told her how great it was. But I mean, she knows so much about my history that I'm sure she could tell me the reason why all my African ancestors were chained together on boats. It was because the people that stole them realized early on that if they weren't constrained, they were more likely to jump off the boat rather than come over here to unknown territory and an unknown life. The fact that she is getting advice from a man who says things like this.
Actually, what we can say is that we'd all end up worse. All of us today would be in a worse spot if slavery never existed at all across the entire globe.
Oh. She used that video as part of her reasoning on why there were some black people that probably loved slavery. I'm so fucking tired of this narrative that somehow black people were better off being slaves than ever having freedom and rights. But never white people. White people always deserve the freedom because it was somehow their God-given right to the freedom, but not black folks. Not black folks. It's crazy how the people that always want slavery to have existed They don't ever touch on why those people needed slaves in the first place. Because they were too fucking lazy to do their own work.
This is what white supremacy at its best looks like. You're ignorant, but I got something for you. This is Psalms 2 and 8, and it reads, "Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thy inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession." So that same mindset that you have right now, keep that, because you're going to need it, because I just Psalms 2 and 8 you.
Like, seriously, lovelies, anytime or each time I come across videos like this, there are so many things running across my mind, and I just keep wondering, like, what kind of human being is this? So is this what she's been, told about? Is it what their ancestors actually, told them, so that they don't feel some type of way? They won't feel guilty. They won't feel that, okay, they have done something wrong. Or is it the reason why they never wanted anything, like reparations, or to pay back for actually humiliating these people? So to her, slaves actually, enjoyed being enslaved. Like, how is it even possible for you to enjoy being, disrespected, being humiliated, being, done all sort of horrible things, and you are here talking about it so freely? People are just like, seriously, some people can't even reason well. So she confidently came out to spill all of these things, trying to justify that what was done to people of my own type was actually something that they enjoyed. So because you felt that these people actually enjoyed being, enslaved, so because of that, I do not owe them anything. I do not owe them even anything like reparations and all of that. Is it the reason why anytime they talk about reparations, how, black people need to be, these people practically built what you are enjoying today? I see this as a supremacist. Like, well, would she even come out in public on social media to spill this? Like, you're saying that black people enjoyed seeing their offspring being fed to an alligator. You're saying that people of my own type enjoyed being whipped on the back. You're saying that people of my own type enjoyed, like, there's something I saw that actually, made me speechless. On the course of this research of a thing, I stumbled across a video explaining how they actually treated women. There's what really happened during the course of this, in slavery and all of that. It happens that the children of these, Caucasian people was falling sick. They had malaria or something, some kind of flu that warrant them to actually breastfeed from people of my own type of skin. Like, their kids were falling sick and they had something that is related to malaria, and the only cure to this sickness is for them to be breastfed by a black woman who is also a nursing mother. Because if you're not a nursing mother, you won't have a lot of breast milk. So what happens then is that these women are forced to get pregnant. After getting pregnant, after delivery, they get pregnant in the step month. These, clear people or palm colored people, women get pregnant. So in the course of delivery, they deliver before the palm colored women. So that before the palm colored woman delivers, she already delivered and lactating breast milk. So these women happens that their own kids that they bet is being taken away from them while they nurse the pan-colored kid in order for her to cure the malaria. And she will be first to breastfeed. And like, seriously guys, I cannot even finish the story, because when I saw that story, I was not even able to put it up here to show you how bad it was. Because and the conclusion is that these black women get their kids taken away, their young ones taken away from them, then to give them room to breastfeed a pan-colored woman's young one. And this lady is telling me now that these women that is taken away from them enjoyed it. Like, how could a mother enjoy seeing her offspring being taken away from her breastfeeding offspring being taken away from her in order for her to breastfeed another woman's offspring? I feel this woman is enjoying it, even if they are treated well, even if they are fed well, because you need to feed well for you to have enough breast milk to give to your offspring. Let's assume that these women are being, fed well, treated well, because they need to produce milk. And how will you feel when your own offspring is taken away from you and they give you all of those things to eat up so that to produce milk that you will give to someone else's offspring? So you see that as being treated well by their masters, right? Like, seriously, what is all this? What is all this supremacy all about? How would you say that these people enjoyed the way? How would you even say that some set of people enjoyed being taken away from their comfort zone unwillingly to a place, to a strange land, and they were forced to do so many things in order for you to enjoy whatever you are enjoying right now, without you people actually paying for it? You are telling me that these people enjoy being forced to learn some certain African vernacular English for them to be able to communicate and do the work and put the system the way it is right now, that you are benefiting and enjoying this, and you feel that they enjoyed it. How could someone enjoy being whipped on the back? How could someone enjoy walking under the sun, under the rain, without even being fed well? You'll be seeing your offspring hungry, suffering. Like, seriously, let's just turn the table around and see if you guys are gonna enjoy it. Like, if you don't wear the shoes, you won't know where it hurts. You won't know how it feels. If you don't wear the shoes, you won't know how it really feels. Then you can just come up and say whatever you want to say. How could you, as a mom, enjoy seeing your offspring suffering and going through things, or because you don't even have, there's nothing you can do about it, and you're telling me that these people enjoyed it, that their masters actually treated them well? Like, who told you this? Who is feeding you with this? Who is feeding you with this kind of misinformation? How could you actually enjoy not getting a basic thing of life? Do you know what it means for you to be under someone, for you to do the things you want to do or you don't want to do because you are being forced to do it? Do you know what it means for you to carry or bring up a child knowing full well that this child is going to be humiliated? Like, seriously. Do you know what it feels? You're talking about how some people were born into it. And do you think that these kids growing up and they see their fellow kids being treated so nicely, then they are treated worse off? Are you kidding me right now? Seriously, lovelies, I said this and I said that, okay, I'm just going to bring it up here because I think there is a lot of misunderstanding here. There is a lot of misinformation. I don't know who is filling them with this info that people of my own type actually enjoyed what they were passing through. Like, seriously. Anyways, lovelies, leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video, and do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational purposes. So please share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one. Send in the comment section of what you think of this video, and do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational, informative, purposes, guys. Please share this video, subscribe if you're here to do that, and I will see you lovelies when I upload my next one.